Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this one I have for you straight from Connecticut. That has everything to do with medical malpractice and which led to the demise and a death of a baby. So this has everything to do with women, mothers, and childbirth. But you got to hear this story. This is heart-wrenching. On what this doctor has allegedly done to this expected young mother. This is life-changing for this family, and if these allegations are true, this doctor should go to jail. So let's go. And I have to raise my glasses for this one. So follow the story. Doctor is accused of killing baby as it was stuck in the womb by using a vacuum 15 times to try to drag the baby out. As parents reveal horror details in suit. Two grieving parents claim the New York doctor who delivered their baby killed him after recklessly ignoring guidelines on using a vacuum pump more than a dozen times on their baby's head. Miss Danielle McKenzie was 40 weeks and 3 days pregnant when she arrived with her partner, Fabrice Diaz, at the Greenwich Hospital in Connecticut for the birth of their son, Alexander, in February. Dr. J. Matat allegedly applied a vacuum pump 15 times to the baby's head in a bid to deliver him, despite NIH guidelines recommending no more than 3 sets of pulls. So he did it 5 times the NIH guidelines. The doctor, who practices minimally invasive surgery, ignored the mother's increasingly frantic pleas for a C-section as the situation deteriorated, the suit says. Her baby had a swollen and bleeding head when he eventually emerged, before being transferred to a different hospital where the baby later died hours later. Dr. Matut acted with a reckless and conscious disregard for the safety of the infant in a situation where a high degree of danger was apparent, the lawsuit says. As a result of the carelessness and negligence of Dr. J. Matut, Miss Danielle suffered and continues to suffer extreme psychological, physical, and emotional distress, and an impaired ability to carry on and enjoy life's activities. Miss McKenzie is 31 years old. The 31-year-old research manager had enjoyed a normal and healthy pregnancy. Her pregnancy was fine and took 20 hours to reach full dilation after being admitted to the hospital on February 17th. She had pushed for 90 minutes before Dr. Matut applied the vacuum pump for the first time. He then applied the pump 12 times in succession in a bid to deliver the child, persisting that even after the device twice came off the baby's head. So he just continued, didn't want to do a C-section. He was determined to get this baby out with this pump. It is recommended that vacuum-assisted deliveries be achieved with no more than 3 sets of pulls and a maximum of 2 to 3 cup detachments or pop-offs, the guidelines state. They also note that the decision to continue with operative vaginal delivery should continuously be reevaluated during the delivery progress. If there is no decent further attempts, he should discontinue and a cesarean section should have been considered. But after a further half hour of pushing, he applied the vacuum 3 more times before giving Danielle an episiotomy, which finally allowed the baby to be delivered. Baby Alexander was limp, had a slow heart rate, and did not cry, the lawsuit states. The baby also had a swollen head consistent with a subgaleal hemorrhage between the scalp and the skull. He was rushed to a neonatal intensive care unit where he was intubated in a critical condition. He was transferred to the nearby Yale New Haven Hospital, where his condition continued to deteriorate before he died just before 11 p.m. on February 18th. Dr. Matut has been in practice for more than 20 years after receiving his medical degree from State University of New York Downstate Medical Center College of Medicine. The couple are seeking punitive damages at a Bridgeport court for negligence, negligent infliction of emotional distress, and recklessness against Greenwich Hospital, the Westchester Medical Group, and Dr. Matut. His care was willful and reckless and represented an extreme departure from ordinary standards of care in the delivery of a baby when a vacuum-assisted delivery had been utilized, the suit claims. A spokesman for the hospital said Greenwich Hospital is aware of this lawsuit and is committed to providing the safest and highest quality of care possible. While we are unable to comment on pending litigation, we have offered our deepest condolences to the family. Whew, what a story. This has everything, and I want all the women who follow me and all the mothers that have followed my channel or listening to this video, selecting the right doctor makes all the difference in the world. Just because someone has a medical license, a medical degree, someone's a lawyer representing you, does not mean that they are holding the higher standard of care, whether it's legally or medically. There are some folks out here that are arrogant, and this is a clear display of egregious behavior, stubbornness, and it also makes me wonder, and where was the humanity in this physician? Physicians take a moral and ethical code to be upstanding and to do the right thing. And this sounds like a clear demonstration that that this Dr. Matut had a narrow vision that he was going to get this baby out at the utilization of this vacuum pump by any means necessary. Why he wouldn't do a C-section is beyond me. And even in this article, the presumption is that he is an OBGYN. But where were the other surgical staff members, the nurses that were watching and assisting in this behavior? None of them asked him to stop. Of course, Miss McKenzie asked him to stop, and she demanded to have a C-section, and he would not do it. It also makes me wonder, Miss McKenzie is an African-American woman. Dr. Matut is a foreign doctor, and I just wonder, does race play a part in this scenario by any stretch? In the sense that, did he look at this situation with this black young mother and this black baby and think that I'm just going to do whatever it takes to get this delivery over with, even at the disregard of the health and welfare of the baby and the mother. I don't know, but it makes you wonder, would he have done this to any other uh, woman of a different race in particular? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But for him to use a vacuum pump 15 times, 5 times the NIH standard, uh, not only should this doctor lose his license, but I think he should be charged for potential manslaughter. This is a life-changing scenario for not only Miss McKenzie, the unfortunate death of her baby, and her fiance, I think is Mr. Diaz, who was the father of the baby. This is life-changing. Miss McKenzie is going to need all of the emotional, psychological, and physical help moving forward for the rest of her life. This might even be life-changing for her not to even want to have another child. And of course, she's going to have a fear of the medical community moving forward. But what a sad story. And something more than just Dr. Jay Mutut losing his license should happen to him. I think not only should he go before the medical board, but he needs to go before a judge and be criminally charged for neglect and possible manslaughter on his level of unethical, immoral, inhumane standards that he used on trying to deliver this baby by using a vacuum pump 5 times the NIH standards at the rate of 15 times, which led to the baby having a brain hemorrhage, low blood pressure, and eventually dying. So where is the ultimate hypocrisy and dichotomy here? This baby is waiting to be born into life, liberty, and freedom, not to be delivered into death. And that's what took place. Tell me what you think about this story straight out of Connecticut with this doctor and this 30-year-old young lady trying to have a baby, and which led to her child dying right after the delivery as a result of Dr. Mutut using a vacuum pump 15 times. What a sad story. Thank you for listening. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.